Good evening, good evening. That was a fun edition of Quiz House tonight. Big on the number 2 button. Lots of fun.
Is that on purpose?
It was. It
It
was.
was.
I was entering the questions and I messaged Tungsten and I said, "Hey man, do you realize that all of these are the second option?" And he's like, "Let's try it." I laughed out loud and said, "All right, let's do it. Why not?" So, probably won't happen again, but it was fun to figure that out. See how many people we could confuse.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a little experimenting, but I do recall in the early weeks of Quiz House, a couple folks had said, "Hey, wouldn't it be funny if all the answers were the same one week?" So we heard you loud and clear. It happened.
That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Happened subliminally.
Very, very cool stuff.
That's how you know this project is legit, when we listen to feedback like that and produce a quiz with all the same answers on it.
Yes.
Can I just put in a request for answer number 3 for next week?
Taking it under advisement.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, we'll consider it. It's a cool idea.
Perfect. We'll do a poll.
Yeah, we'll do a poll. Not on chain though, just to be sure. Awesome. Well, I want to thank all of you for tuning in and for everybody being here on stage. These are our weekly Tuesday community calls here at LinksDAO. Opportunity to catch up on what's going on, talk about what we've been doing, what's happening next, and as always, take questions, comments, feedback, etc. from the community. A few of you I know have been on the onboarding calls, which I really appreciate. Those are on Mondays. And this is kind of like the more in-depth version of that, the precursor. So we've got a special edition here tonight with the community team. We're going to dive in and go through what we have been kind of working on and, experiences with being on the community team, the DAO contributor model, and all of the fun various things that go along with that. So as many of you know, we've got 10 pods at this time, ranging from the pro shop and partnerships to operations, moderation, but I'm not going to list them all out for you right now. I think we can just jump in. And to do that, I think we're going to go in reverse alphabetical order. I see Austin up here on stage, who is probably driving home from work, but we're going to kick it off. So Analytics Pod gets to go last. So he's home and not driving out there on the West Coast. So that being said, let's kick it off with Pro Shop and or partnerships. I can kick that over to Nick Walker.
What's up, everyone? Sounds like we've got those two back to back, so I'll probably just take both of those, but certainly happy to take any questions. So on the pro shop side, so we've been working really hard to do a refresh of items. We just had the sunset of the Genesis collection, so hopefully those of you who wanted to grab one of those items did before they went away. I think there were some questions out there, and that as pertains to, are all the items go away, or is it just the logo? So just to clarify, like we may not carry necessarily every color of a certain style that was in the pro shop. It kind of depends on what each manufacturer has in their inventory, or we've kind of chosen some different colors, but we've really gone out to some of the partners that we've worked with previously, where we've just had great feedback, like Holderness and Born and Solo, and are working on expanding the number of items that we have with them. So we're going to be really seeing more options and varieties from what you would see in maybe a traditional pro shop, instead of some of the limited options that some of these providers gave us on the pro shop at the first run, as they saw how successful of a community we were. And then, we're also going to be bringing in some new vendors for things like, head covers, some more casual wear. So we're working on like crew neck sweatshirts and hoodies. You may have seen a couple of these things leaked in the last couple of weeks, and we'll be doing some more leaks in anticipation. But right now we're hoping that by the end of I would say September, we could hopefully get as many of these things out as possible. And then there's also going to be a proposal that's going to be coming out around pro shop and inventory management that'll really help us as a pod and an organization be able to increase the level of satisfaction from, I think, a user experience, so that people aren't waiting as long as they did from the previous orders, because they had to be essentially a pre-sale and then go to embroidery. So allowing us to actually unlock some wholesale relationships, and also just put us in a better position to then restock items quickly if they do sell out. So keep an eye out for that. We've been drafting a proposal, and I think we'll be getting that into snapshot form soon. So, but yeah, I mean, really, like at the end of the day, we want to just continue to provide like the best available merch at the best available prices that you can get anywhere, both men's and women's. Jen up here, I'll pass it to her too if she wants to say anything, because she's been working her butt off to really bring some of these women's collections together. And so we're gonna really, I think, have just an awesome selection for both sides of the house. So.
Yeah, like Nick said, mostly been focusing on some of the women's wear for either you guys or some of the ladies in your lives. I think that it's going to be some good stuff that you can wear on the course and off the course. Just some leisure wear, like some leggings and some joggers and stuff like that. So hoping that we'll get more people able to rep the brand. Yeah, it's going well, and I'm super excited for everybody to see it.
Awesome. Coop, are we doing questions for each of these, or are we just kind of giving State of the Union, or what are we?
Let's play it by ear. If anybody in the audience has a question about Pro Shop or partnerships along those lines, go ahead and raise your hand. If not, then we can keep on rolling through, and we kind of just go as it goes. Play it by ear. Sound good?
Yep.
Cool.
Awesome. So, from a partnership perspective, I mean, a lot of the bandwidth really has been focused on the Pro Shop over the past month, and as we get through that, we're really going to get back to trying to land some more of the larger traditional brands, or really golf specific brands, as well as work on other areas in golf, like technology and equipment, and to bring that into the shop, and also like hopefully provide great discounts. So we do have one pretty well known equipment manufacturer that we're going to be launching a more formal partnership with here over the coming weeks. We're working on some things and on potential like travel concepts as well. So those should be pretty exciting. And but I think really like this really comes down to getting back to a focus on utility, and providing everyone here in the audience, and everyone who's holding one of these NFTs, just more and more areas that they can go within the golf world to actually to get a great discount on great apparel, and have just more choice. Some of the challenges that comes with this is like not all of these manufacturers by default want to play nice with each other in the LinksDAO sandbox. So there is kind of a little bit of timing and cadence that comes to this, where we're sometimes aligning more to a category than necessarily going after like an entirely large portfolio. So I think it'll work out for us in the end. But if anyone does have any connections in the space, at any of your traditional large golf brands, like please reach out to me or anyone else who's helping out with partnerships. We really want to start to leverage more of the brain power in this community. So also if you're interested in contributing to the partnerships pod as well, I know like we just had the survey recently, so I just saw some folks who filled that out and are interested. So I'll be working through that. But feel free to ask me on a friend or DM, and we'll start to get the rhythm of the biweekly calls happening more often. So, and if anyone has any questions, happy to answer them. But I think it'll be a pretty exciting month when all this stuff starts to drop in the shop. So,
Love that. Super cool. Thank you so much, Jen and Nick. And again, feel free if you don't want to come up on stage, might be a little stage fright, feel free to just click on a name here and shoot a DM. We're all happy to chat on that stuff. So I realize that it's not quite a pod, but it's something we're excited about. Before we move into O, I might want to for operations. I might want to throw it over to PFP. Mr. Senor, you have any updates there?
Let's go. I do. So we talked about on previous spaces that there's sort of 5 key elements that need to be in order by a specific date before we start really hammering home hype and marketing and everything you would expect to see in the lead up to a PFP launch. One is marketing, obviously, and our relationships with, I said relationships because I just saw a tag from Cooper that was complimenting my microphone and it made me happy. Relationships with other projects and other folks in the golf industry, etc. And so, how do we get the word out? How do we get people excited about it? How do we really use this as something that will shine a large light on LinksDAO? That's one that we're currently progressing towards. That's being shaped as we speak, reviews, discussed, debated, and finalized. Second piece is around the community. So, Cooper working on, and I know that others are contributing to this as well. What does the actual experience look like for the lead up to the PFP release? So the sort of hype train that we enter onto, how do we make sure that people are in and talking about it and excited and have a chance to share their ideas? And then what does the experience look like post-mint for people who hold the NFT? So debates like, should they have access to members chat? Should they not? Like there's a whole bunch of experience questions within Discord that we'll need to answer and fall into for that. Third piece is sort of the perks, the partnerships. What is sort of the value prop of the PFP itself? I've had a lot of discussion about how do we do that in a way that doesn't cannibalize the existing global membership? How do we provide this as a real utility and benefit for globals and leisures, right? So this is, the way that we've been thinking about this a lot is not just that the PFP itself could have utility, but what does this really do for an existing Genesis holder? And how does this become another bullet point in the insane value that this NFT holds? So that's really exciting. I'm not going to say a whole lot about that right now, but I think people on this call and within the community are going to be incredibly excited about where we're landing there. So people can read between the lines there, but it'll be very exciting. Next part then has to do with the actual mechanics and how we think about phases. Obviously, all this stuff is very complicated to do well. There's like market dynamics you have to think about. There's the hype and everything else. We want this to be the type of project that everyone online is talking about. And so we really have to make sure that we get these things fair. How do we make sure that the right amount are available for existing holders? How do we make sure that the right proportion is available for new members so we can get new people to come in? And then the last piece is obviously the art itself and the Mint website and the smart contract. How do we make sure that it's secure and audited and foolproof? How do we make sure that the site is easy to use and clear and provides just enough information to understand what the project is? And then lastly, and not the most important thing, but obviously it's a PFP, so it could be the most important thing, is the art itself. How do we make sure that every single one of us is going to feel confident and excited to swap whatever avatar we have, like my raccoon, and build a new online identity around this golfer? So lots and lots and lots of work and lots of people are going into this project, and I think the thing that takes the most time is getting the art right. I mean, we've been spending months with a creative team really honing in on the right strategy for the art, the creative concept, the artistic vision. I think we're close. I don't think we're as close as I'd want to be. So like we're still working really, really hard to hone in on exactly the art style that we want. And we're working with our artist team every day to hone that in. We've kind of boiled it down to a couple singular directions, and hopefully we're very, very close on nailing that in. We'll have much more to share. And then as we start to like actually polish the attributes that live on top of that character and have something that we can really start to feel confident in from a production side, then we'll make the decision to set a timeline date and move forward towards that date with all of the things that I've mentioned so far. So I know it sounds like a lot of times it's like the update is more to come, and I know that it's like an internal joke amongst all of us is like when course, when PFP, the answer is always soon or imminent or whatever. But the fact of the matter is this is a hard challenge to solve, right? We could have put something out a long time ago that looked terrible. Our goal is to make this look blue chip, and to do that, we're taking our time. So, our expectation is over the course of the next couple of weeks, we'll finalize the art. And then from there, you'll hear from us and all of our official channels about the actual rollout process as we move towards mint, and then as we go to mint, and then as we do reveal. Happy to answer a bunch of questions. Again, use PFP chat for that. I check it every day. If you have ideas, if you have questions, whatever's on your mind, please reach out there and we can connect.
Love it. Super, super excited to look at the audience and the stage and just see a sea of LinksDAO golfers. It's going to be a fun time for sure. Awesome updates there. Thank you, Mr. Senor. Do we have somebody up here who wants to take the reins on operations? Mr. Skeff.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Coop. Appreciate the pass off. Good evening, everyone. So the main goal of operations is to kind of make sure that we are organized on this ship as we are moving forward. Things like DAO organization, operationalizing project management using a tool called Clarity that we implemented, I think, a month or two ago to keep track of project contributions, contributor payouts, and ensure that we are setting goals to continue to build this project and ensure that we're delivering on those goals as time progresses. And then another initiative that we rolled out recently is updates to the community through the weekly. So we are trying to organize all of the work that is going on a weekly basis from all the pods and contributing a very easy to digest weekly update. So anything as it relates to strategy, project updates, or DAO organization kind of lives in the operations pod. Just a little bit ago, we passed a proposal process through the snapshot vote that passed pretty amazingly, 95+%. And the next iteration of that proposal process is something we're working on with the community product pod called the Linkubator. And we are assisting them in making sure that that is set up to be an efficient use of time for everyone and ensure that the community, as we progress in our journey, gets to build alongside us and always have an input where the DAO is moving forward. One of the major pieces of operational documentation as we move forward towards the course is bylaws and management of the course as we become members and get to play at our real course, knowing the rule set and how we as a group of individuals want to govern ourselves and establish a base set of rules. I'm trying to lead that discussion right now, and having community input, which we'll be getting here soon enough, is going to be very valuable to us. So I want to make sure that everyone who wants to be active, I just want to let you know that my ears are wide open and I will receive your feedback. And I'm very excited to work on this project with all of you together. And OpsPod is there to assist any of the other pods. So if you're a contributor and you think something isn't being done in the most efficient way, come talk to us and we'll see if we can figure out the most efficient way to build this amazing organization for many years to come.
Excellent. Sorry, I'm eating a cracker right now, but awesome updates there. Really fun stuff on ops. I want to pause. Any questions here so far on what we've been talking about? Feel free to raise your hand. If not, we can move on and throw it over to Dom for moderation. What's new, Dom?
Hey everybody, I am a co-pod lead with moderation. Me and Bia.
All right. Well, Dom is doing a great
My
job
bad.
recording.
My
There he
bad.
is. Okay.
I unmuted it. Never mind. But hey, everybody. I'm Dom. I'm a co-pod lead for the moderation pod with BLL, and we are people who kind of lead the conversations on conduct, on acceptable content in the server, language, and more. Just making sure people are being nice and playing fair within our server. Sometimes in a lot of other servers, you may experience a completely different vibe, a completely different way of communicating with each other. And here we try to keep it as professional as possible and as honest as possible. And so far, that has only led us to bigger and better places as a community. And for moderation pod, it's a lot of cross pod work. It's making sure you are keeping up to date with what's going on in the Discord and through other pods, and lending a hand if ever needed, and just being there on the Discord and helping everybody just accomplish their goals. Lately, project-wise, we've been focusing on code of conducts and moderation process, and just leading a bunch of cross-pod work. The biggest thing with moderation is just keeping things rolling, I guess, in a sense. Just making sure if there's a good thing going, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And keeping up to date with the trends and conduct around the business world, and even just the online world in general is really important for moderation. And that was really my rundown of the moderation pod.
Love it. Awesome stuff there. And Dom's also one of the leaders of our Metaverse Gaming Committee. So you may have noticed in the gaming channel that he sunk an awesome shot in PGA 2K last night. So if you're interested in playing some virtual golf, definitely reach out to me or Dom there. But awesome. Great stuff. Let's kick it to marketing. Liam, Eth?
Hi, everybody. My name's Liam. I'm one of the pod leaders in the marketing pod alongside Eth. I think I guess from my perspective, one of the things that we're always trying to be cognizant of is what people want to see from marketing. So Ethan does a lot of the kind of organizational aspect of the marketing pod, and a lot of what I do has come in the form of social media. And so I think that, obviously, I think much like the other groups here, we're always changing our approach as things happen, as we kind of get feedback. And so I think that Ethan and I are largely focused on kind of taking that feedback in from the community. Obviously, we want to put the things out in front of you that everybody wants to see. Shout out to kind of Austin in the analytics pod and the kind of Discord surveys, how we kind of pull information from Twitter and our different social platforms. I think it's all something that we've learned on the fly, and we've built upon our approach. I think if I could, I guess, ask one thing, it's that we love the feedback, and we hope to get more. We want to kind of share the things that people want to see, kind of do our best to produce content internally. We hope you all love the members bounce, and everyone who's kind of contributed to that. But love the feedback that we've gotten so far in marketing. Every little bit helps in terms of how we can kind of steer the Links brand, develop the Links brand. I'll kick it to Ethan.
Yeah, thanks, man. There is quite a bit that goes on in the marketing pod. I would say it's an extremely active pod. There's 3 leaders, Tungsten, Liam, and myself, and we're bringing in more people. We're having bi-weekly meetings. So tomorrow actually is our second meeting of the week. So we're usually having a Monday and Wednesday every other week. Quite a bit to run down. We have a lot of ideas, a lot of people raising their hands with really good ideas. Like Liam mentioned, we have a brand to develop. and it's something that's always evolving. The way we want to represent this project and want to, I guess, draw the attention of new golfers. We're making a lot of progress in that area, making sure that we have a lot of unison across, social media platforms, across the digital environments. A lot of copywriting goes into this, how we put out messages, not the fact that we just put out our messages and, self promote ourselves, but making it understandable for people who may not be in the Web3 environment as well, not using too much jargon, making sure that we're accessible to people who just want to play golf too, and allows, we have to think about Web3 as an onboarding mechanism, or us being an onboarding mechanism to Web3 in general, and how some of that takes time. A lot of golfers may not be into it, but they like the project and they like communities like this one in some form or fashion. So being able to kind of be enticing to all types of golfers, because this is kind of a jack of all trades project. Like maybe we're rooted in Web3, but this is for all types of golfers. They don't have to be a Web3 nerd like most of us are, and so just finding new ways. I think that's kind of where we're headed, is really becoming more accessible to all types of golfers through other platforms. Yes, Web3, but kind of being that bridge. I think projects like this are the bridge. We're not waiting for, the tech to be built out. There's already such great tech out there for us to go out there and get in front of golfers and show them that there's really cool digital golf communities out there, and IRL benefits and new ways of kind of sharing a global experience. So just thinking of a lot of new ways, and always happy to hear, new ideas and how we can kind of express that message. If you are interested in joining the marketing pod, by the way, I know everyone's kind of pitching their pod, but I think if you head over to Gatehouse, there is an intake form which is filling up pretty quickly, and so we'll be reaching out to people in those forms and starting a discussion. Again, can kind of extend the invitation to these pod meetings. We can get into details when those are, but would be extremely enthusiastic to hear or meet some of y'all. If you have any marketing experience, that's even, a bonus. You don't have to have marketing experience, but would like to, make sure that you're able to get involved and put out really solid products and keep things, as quality as we can, and just kind of scale in that form and fashion. We can talk about, the contributions that go hand in hand, and the compensation through clarity, as Skef mentioned. So just hit us up and we can talk about whatever ideas or experience you have.
Awesome. Love it, love it, love it. Next up, reverse alphabetical, is the Grow the Game pod. Jen, I know we had you on earlier to talk about partnerships. Would you like to take it away?
Sure, thanks. So yeah, as mentioned earlier, I've been focusing on getting some strong ladies merch in the pro shop and some other fun things in there. But ultimately, we're looking for ways to just grow the game of golf in the DAO. So that involves a lot of cross-pod work, which is super fun to get to work with all the other leaders up here, because everyone up here is pretty great to work with. And so basically, yeah, it's just, I love getting together with other members of the community to hear if you have any ideas for different things we could do for the community or just the game of golf in general. There have been several proposals which we've put up, like for the First Tee and several other organizations which are just built on helping to grow the game of golf and increase access to people who may have like barriers to accessing the game of golf. So really anything along those lines, I'd love to hear it. So feel free to just jump in the tee box or shoot me a DM if you have any ideas. We'd love to just discuss it with you and just see what we can do.
Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Love the Grow the Game pod. If anybody wants to join that, please DM Jen or fill out the form in the Gatehouse. Good stuff. Continuing on, C. Bruce is not here tonight as our finance pod leader, but an update, we are working through, some more accountability and tracking of the proposals and stuff. Some of that has been shared in the members' announcements previously. but lots going on. Keeping track of all of the treasury, everything else. If you're interested more in that, you can type !Dune in chat. That's DUNE, and you can see the treasury balance at the bottom there. And feel free to pop into the finance T box if you have any questions or want to contribute there for our number crunchers. It's a fun spot on that side. Now I will kick it over to Ryan on the events pod side.
Thanks, Coop. Hey, everyone. So Events Pod has really been focusing lately on getting people on the golf course, getting people playing more golf together. After all, that's what we're all about here at LinksDAO, is getting ready to play our own golf course one of these days very soon. And so following our great second IRL event that we had at NFT NYC, we've really been focusing on building out link ups. You may have seen, or you may be familiar with the channel link ups here in the server. A link up basically is defined as any gathering of 4 or more LinksDAO members in the name of LinksDAO. This could include guests as well, but really the idea is getting together to play golf or to do some other sort of activity, whether that's at one of our partners like Top Golf or 5-Iron for some sim golf or alternative golf experiences, or even just getting together to hang out. We had some members get together and go to a ball game a couple of months ago, or to a bar, right? So all of those things we call link ups. Again, the whole idea is getting members together to talk about the project, grow the hype for when we do have our own course. And now I would add too, with the IMG Prestige launch that happened today, starting to get members together to go play at some of our reciprocal golf courses that are available to us now. So what does that mean for what the events pod is working on at the moment? Really, our focus is on formalizing the link ups process and making it as seamless as possible for anyone at any time to initiate, formalize, and garner interest and signups for a link up if they want to host one. Today, the process is working with a member of our events pod to start that up, and our events pod contributors set up a sign-up sheet for people to say they want to participate, and then it's on that host to go and run the event. In the future, we're working on incorporating that into our clubhouse, and we think in the next couple of months we'll be able to have that experience right alongside IMG Prestige, right alongside other golf opportunities as well. So Events Pod, again, right now focused on getting more people on the golf course, and if you want to help with that, looking forward to speaking to you soon and seeing what ways you can contribute to this pod.
Killer. Love the goffle.
Golf all day.
Goffle all day. Yes. Cool. Next, alphabetically, we've got Dev Pod. Mr. Senor, back to you.
Form group. All right. So, where do I start? So I can outline a little bit about the major focus of the Dev Pod is on the clubhouse, right? And it's probably should be no surprise, people who are listening, that's been a huge primary emphasis of sort of our internal product, which is a place for LinksDAO members to be able to easily gain access to the most important information, easily gain access to the benefits that you have as part of your membership. And then what's starting to become more of the future as we think about this is how do you find access to great golf experiences, and how do you form social connections across members? And so the first sort of wave of that roadmap launched last week, and that was the Clubhouse design refresh. If you haven't checked out Clubhouse recently, you'll go to clubhouse.linksdao.io and notice it looks completely different. And like, major shout out to design and dev for putting together something that is super duper premium and respectful to the brand that we're all building together. It's up to brand standards with the external website. Huge shout out to Patrick for putting that together. And it also forms a foundation for the features that we want to release going forward. And so that was sort of step 0. Step 1 then is around adding another feature to that to allow for a huge pain point that we've seen people share, which is I don't love Discord. Now, the 27 of you who are sitting in the audience and are like in the channels all day, this probably isn't something that you face. But there's a ton of members who just don't want to use Discord. And that's hard because that is the central hub for our community. And so if when we announce things like the Callaway partnership, the Top Golf partnership, the William Murray partnership, the IMG Prestige partnership, if you're not in Discord, you're probably going to miss most of that information. Yes, you might follow us on Twitter. Yes, you might get the information that way. But ultimately, that information isn't being pushed to you in a way that is super hard to miss. And so, what we've started working on and we hope to launch in the next couple of weeks is a way for you to voluntarily opt in to either SMS or email or both in the clubhouse. You can fill out your profile. You can add that information if you choose. It's completely opt in. Once you opt in, then each announcement that we push into the feed into the clubhouse will be delivered to you in the manner that you've opted into. So if you've signed up for SMS, it will send you a text message with a link to the announcement. So IMG Prestige launched today. You get an SMS message, you click on it and open up the announcement and read about it. If you prefer email, then you can do that too. So we believe this is really important from the standpoint of how do we make sure that people don't miss out on the critical, the mission critical items of the DAO. And that's, as we go towards the golf course and we start doing a lot of voting around the golf course, we don't want anyone to miss just because they prefer not to use Discord. After that, then, a major thing that I'm sure Tungsten will talk about is around courses. So how do we, or social golf experiences, how do we get people the ability to access awesome either course or golf experiences? And I say that because it could be 5-iron or it could be Top Golf or it could be meetups. It could be any range of ways that we can get together in real life around the game that we love. And so by creating a really easy platform that you can access that by location, we can provide you with a bunch of courses. The IMG stuff will live in there, like Ryan said. And that's, we believe, is a really important part for all of us because it allows us to form connections around golf. So we hope that the MVP of that will be ready in September. And then as we add sort of more golf experiences into that platform, you'll find a sort of richer set of things that you're able to do in real life and make connections with other members. The next thing after that then would be around how do we think about the clubhouse as a social place, a place where you can form connection with other members. You can discuss topics that range around golf. You can start to interact with the game in interesting ways, whether that be your scores or photos of courses, or we were joking in members chat earlier about having sort of a Foursquare type experience. If you're not old enough to know what Foursquare is, ask me in the chat. But there's a range of really cool things, and it's hard to figure out. There's lots of social networks. There's lots of places where golfers interact. Our main principle will be building something that's better and different than stuff that already exists. So we're currently in the process of starting to think about that. We'll then move into sort of a lot of research and talking to the group, whether that be in channels or even more focused areas, as well as then thinking about sort of what the design of that might look like and what the initial releases will be. So again, like Clubhouse is massively important to the community, and having a situation where we have a single hub that people can not only get benefits, that will always be important, but then also start to find more value in a single place with your membership. That's what I'm really excited about, and that's the primary focus of what the Dev Pod works on. Obviously, there's lots of other things. If you report a bug, if you have an idea for an improvement, those things get done too. But the main strategy for the clubhouse is what I just described. So again, happy to answer any questions you have, but that's the roadmap.
Love it. The answer to can the devs do something in LinksDAO is that they absolutely are, which is a great thing to have. Cool. So I'll start us off on community product. I'm Cooper, head of community product. As many of you know here in the audience, we are working on your experience as a member of this community, right? It's one of the core things that makes LinksDAO go. I see a few people here in the audience who have the swag tag. One of our current things is reaching out to some of these other awesome golf communities around Web3 and the internet at large, and kind of letting them know what we're up to and welcoming them into our community. So we're really excited about that, and super super glad to see some of these swag members who are also have these member tags next to them. So thank you and welcome to LinksDAO. I'm glad you're joined. I'm glad you're here. If you have any further questions, feel free to let me know. So Mr. Senor alluded to kind of the process for the PFP. We're expecting to welcome some more members into our community. And we're thinking really hard about how to do that, right? And how to reward you, our existing community, for bringing those members in and kind of helping them grow our club of golfers here. So that's one thing we're working on. Discord security and processes is tightly tied to that experience. So shout out to our friends Gooden and Guilfoyle on that process, helping me out with some of the more developer side of things on that. I'd also like to point out that football season is coming up, and if you are interested in doing some fantasy football, some further degenning, that's something that we're going to be rolling out here. There is a thread in members chat about that. Dom is also very much helping out with that, and we'll be working with some of our friends over at LinksDAO as well to kind of make the experience a little bit more Web3. So those are the main things on our mind right now for community product. We are very, very excited to also continue offering rewards, PO-ops, giveaways, and fun things to do like Quiz House, and rewards for things like attending these calls. So I appreciate all of you being here very, very much. You make this project go forward. And you'll know that right now actively we have a giveaway for saying GM in the greens fee. So if you want one of those coffee mugs, make sure to chime in, get your GMs in, and do that. And also, I'd like to invite you to invite your friends, right? If you have other golfers that you know that want to be a part of this community, right? We want to welcome them in and hopefully give them an opportunity to get a Links PFP, learn a little bit more about the project and crypto in general, but also, all the cool golf benefits we have here as a community. So along with that, working with all of our friends up here on stage, the leaders of this community team, and kind of activating and executing the roadmap that we were working on. Last but not least, speaking of the roadmap, is buying a golf course, right? That's why we're all here. So I don't want to leave that one off. We are launching a preferences questionnaire or forced ranking options. So what we're looking to do is release a list of traits, characteristics, valuable concepts like the course design, the location of the course, if it's close to an airport or if it's close to other high quality golf, these type of things to get feedback from you on which courses we should prioritize in our work with Kemper and eventually buy shortly. So stay tuned in the Wagback. We're going to buy a golf course channel section there for more polls and information. And if you are an NFT holder, we're going to try to do as much of this on chain as possible. So stay tuned for potential snapshot votes on the concept and vote with your NFTs. So looking forward to that. And I know we say this all the time, but soon is getting sooner, and we could not be more excited to be moving forward with that aspect. So that's Comprod, and I will toss it over, and maybe Austin, are you still stuck on I-5?
I am, but I'm also good to talk right now if you want.
All right, Austin, analytics. Just give us what you got.
Sounds good. So hey everyone, I'm Austin. I'm the analytics pod leader. Kind of fitting that going last today. I know Coop did it primarily because I was trying to get home, so I wouldn't have to talk in the car. But you guys have already heard what all the pods are working on, and the analytics pod is really working to support all of that. So as of right now, I consider the analytics pod very much an enablement pod. So we exist to make everyone else's lives easier and to make sure that we're tackling the right things as a DAO. So we've tackled a lot of different projects recently. We've been answering a lot of new questions on the Dune dashboard. I've tossed that command in members chat, but feel free to check that out if you scroll down to the bottom. We have some new insights on, how many different wallets hold, n number of votes. We have, bucketed by, how many globals a wallet owns, that kind of stuff. So Basically just like a lot of information for answering questions, right? So if, partnerships has a question on how many, if there's a benefit that's going to roll out to global members, like how many members hold a global in their wallet, right? How many unique wallets do we have? So really just making sure that we, try to, enable the rest of the pods. We've also been working on a pretty cool project recently, an engagement scorecard. So, as in Web3, it's pretty difficult to measure engagement. Communities can be kind of fractured across Twitter, across Discord, Telegram, that kind of stuff. So we're just really making sure that we are trying to track all of that in one place and, have records so we can really focus on, getting to a larger portion of our community and making sure that everyone stays educated. So that's similar to the Web3 score. If you guys saw that earlier in the year, I can toss that in members chat in a second too. But our engagement scorecard is really focused on 5 main areas. So we have governance, Clubhouse, Discord, social, and benefits. So basically, we're tracking a series of KPIs across those, and we're just trying to make sure that those numbers continue to trend up. The DAO has done so much great work over these last 8 months, and we want to make sure that we continue to do great work and focus on the right priorities. So, we're just continuing to track that. We're also doing some pretty fun stuff with some of the PFP, like Mr. Senor mentioned earlier. We're tracking like how many wallets would be eligible to mint, that kind of stuff. We're also going to be rolling out some market research in the next week or so, probably, wrapping that up and finalizing that. So be on the lookout for that if you want to have a say and use your voice in the community. But we're also working on enabling other things too, like that snapshot vote that Coop mentioned. Snapshot doesn't have a super great ranked choice voting mechanism. So, we're working to enable that and, actually get an accurate vote count for what our members want. So we can tell what you guys want to do when we buy that golf course. But overall, we're just really focused on making everyone's lives easier. So if you ever have a question about the data behind the DAO, feel free to tag me in the members chat or Clubhouse or whatever, and I'll do my best to answer that question. So, regardless of how far out it is there, more than happy to help you understand what's going on. I think that pretty much covers it from my end. If you want to get involved, feel free to add me as a friend, DM me. Actually, I think my DMs are open, so you can just straight up DM me if you want, or you can fill out the intake form as well. But love to have as many people as possible working on steering the DAO in the right direction.
Awesome. Thank you so much for chiming in from the road, and drive safe, Austin. Cool. So we've reached that time. We're through. Anybody else up here on stage want to talk about what they're working on, what they're excited about? Before we turn it over for questions, I'd love to, go ahead and hit that request button if you're in the audience, but I'd love to open it up.
Yeah, I'll just follow up real quick. I mentioned the IMG Prestige benefit. It's been mentioned a couple of times tonight. If you're a member and you've probably seen the announcement in the Discord today, we're really pumped that we've got this up and live as a benefit in Clubhouse. And thank you if any of you who have already submitted a request are on tonight. We've received probably about a dozen requests already, which is excellent. We don't have any hard and fast metrics on number of people we're looking to make requests, but as I said during the event pod update, our goal here is to get all of you guys playing more golf, and so please do take advantage of that if you're at all able to. And once you are out on one of the IMG Prestige host courses, take some photos if it's within the rules at the golf course to do so. Share it with everyone. Tell them what great time you're having out at one of our reciprocal courses. So thanks for that.
Love it. Super excited to play those courses.
There's some awesome looking ones for sure.
For real. We'll be queuing up those in PGA and testing them out, getting used to the routings and everything. Make sure that
there's an idea.
When we show up, we're nice and prepared.
Is your score going to be better in real life or in 2K?
Definitely in 2K. I shoot like an average of 59 on 2K, and I'm shooting an average of like 99 in real life. So, definitely better in 2K. But I find that when I play a course first on there, I do a little better. Cool. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. If you have any questions, go ahead and raise your hand now, or drop it in Clubhouse or members chat, or one of the pod tee boxes. We'd be happy to chat with y'all. Yeah, thanks very much. And again, if you're a member of any golf community, Web3 community, somebody who needs to learn more about LinksDAO, let me know. We would love to welcome your friends, your fellow golfers, your foursome, or your favorite NFT group to LinksDAO, right? There's a lot of golfers out there, and we're really excited about what we're doing next. But ultimately, we're going to buy a golf course. So thanks for tuning in for the whole call, and we'll catch you next week.
Thanks, everybody.